Hello grade 11, ang tutorial session natin ay magfo-focus sa finding asymptotes of a given rational function. Ito ang ating given rational function, f of x equals x plus 2 all over x squared minus 3x minus 28. Okay? So, meron tayong three types of asymptotes. We have the horizontal asymptote, the vertical asymptote, and the oblique or slant asymptote. Yan. Okay. So, mag-start tayo sa horizontal asymptote and oblique or slant asymptote. H is for horizontal, V is for vertical, OS is for oblique or slant. Yan. Yan ang three types of asymptotes natin. Okay. So, for the horizontal asymptote, magfo-focus ka sa degrees ng numerator and denominator. Degree. Ano ulit ang degree? Ang degree ay ang highest exponent ng polynomial. Okay, so for the first polynomial, itong nasa numerator, ang highest degree ay 1. I-represent natin as n yung degree ng polynomial sa numerator. It's the highest exponent. Okay, so ang highest exponent ng polynomial sa numerator ay 1 kasi ang constant ay may degree na 0 kasi parang may nakatabi dyan na 2x raised to 0. So, 1 ang exponent ng x, samantalang itong constant na 2 ang exponent ng literal coefficient niya na x ay 0. So, this is the highest exponent of the numerator. So, let's represent it as n. For the denominator, ang degree ay 2. So, obviously, that your denominator is a quadratic polynomial. And when you say quadratic, the degree is 2. This is raised to 1, tapos may literal coefficient kasi ito na x raised to 0. So, 2, 1, 0 ang mga exponent sa denominator, and this is the highest. Therefore, the degree in the denominator is 2. Tawagin natin siyang m. Yan. Okay? So, pag naghahanap ka ng horizontal asymptote of a given rational function, you actually follow 3 rules. At pag nagfo-follow ka ng 3 rules, nagko-compare ka ng n at m. In other words, kinu-compare mo ang degree ng polynomial in the numerator at ang degree ng polynomial in the denominator. Okay, anong 3 rules na yon? First rule, when n is less than m. Mas maliit yung degree ng numerator kaysa sa degree ng denominator. So, dito sa given problem natin, our n is 1. Our m is 2. So, dito siya sa first rule actually nagfo-fall. When n is less than 1, n is less than m, the horizontal asymptote is automatically the x-axis. The horizontal asymptote is the x-axis. Ano ang equation ng x-axis? Ang equation ng x-axis is actually y equals 0. Automatic yan. Basta nakita mo na mas maliit ang degree ng numerator kaysa sa degree ng denominator, ang horizontal asymptote mo is automatically the x-axis or the equation y equals 0. Pero i-discuss na rin natin yung other two rules. That's when n is equal to m. So, magiging magkapareho ang degree ng numerator and denominator. Your horizontal asymptote is y equals a over b. Ano naman itong a, ano itong b? A is the numerical coefficient of the leading term in the numerator. Pag sinabing leading term, it's the term having the highest exponent. So, for example, nagkataon na 2 yung degree ng numerator katulad ng degree ng denominator. How do you get the horizontal asymptote? Your A will be the numerical coefficient of x raised to 2. So, it's 1. Tapos, 1 din dito sa baba. 1 over 1 equals 1. Kaya, ang magiging horizontal asymptote is y equals 1. Kung parehong 2 yung degrees. Okay? Yung third rule is when n is greater than m. When n is greater than m, ang pwede mong i-conclude dyan, there is no horizontal asymptote. Instead, ang meron ay oblique or slant asymptote. Yan. At paano mo hahanapin yung equation ng oblique asymptote? Ang process ay iba. I-divide mo. Gagamit ka ng long division. I-divide mo yung polynomial sa numerator by the polynomial sa denominator. So, may makukuha ka ditong quotient and remainder. Yung remainder, i-ignore mo. Ang magiging equation ng iyong oblique asymptote ay y equals yung expression mo for the quotient. Ganyan ang magiging equation ng iyong oblique asymptote. Okay, so ito i-discuss na lang natin in details pag nag-tutor na ako ng rational function na nagfo-fall under the third rule. Ito rin, mag-shoot din ako ng video focusing on n equals m case. Okay, para mas maintindihan itong second and third rules. Okay, so na-solve na natin yung horizontal asymptote nitong given rational function natin. It's the horizontal, it's the x-axis or y equals 0. This is your first asymptote. Okay. Next, vertical asymptote. So, tapos na tayo dito. Remember also na kapag ang rational function ay merong horizontal asymptote, never siyang magkakaroon ng oblique asymptote or vice versa. Okay? So, hindi nangyayari na both horizontal asymptote at oblique asymptote ang mahahanap mo for a given rational function. Kung mayroong horizontal asymptote, wala siyang oblique asymptote. Kung meron siyang oblique asymptote, wala siyang horizontal asymptote. Okay? So, sa vertical asymptote naman, ang procedure ay you set the denominator to 0. Denominator equals 0. Okay? Kasi hinahanap mo yung values ng x na magre-result to dividing by 0. Kasi rational function is dividing actually. Numerator divided by denominator. And if you divide by 0, pag nag-0 ito, after you plug in values that will make it 0, magiging undefined yung function mo. Okay? So, nandoon yung vertical asymptote mo dun sa mga values of x that will result to undefined function. Okay? So, we have our denominator polynomial. It's x squared minus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So, bumabalik ka sa solving quadratic equation by factoring method. So, if you factorize mo ito, this is factorable. Factors of negative 28 that when you add up, it's equal to negative 3. You have negative 7 and positive 4. 4 plus negative 7 is negative 3. Okay. After factoring the quadratic expression on the left, you set each factor to 0 and solve for x. So, first factor is x plus 4, set to 0 and solve for x. This is your vertical asymptote. Second factor, x minus 7, set to 0 and solve for x. This is your second vertical asymptote. Okay? So, for this given rational function, we have 1 horizontal asymptote and 2 vertical asymptotes. We don't have an oblique or slant asymptote. Okay? Remember that a rational function can both have a horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Or, pwede ring magkaroon siya ng oblique and vertical asymptotes at the same time. But never both oblique and horizontal asymptotes at the same time. Okay? So that's all. Thank you.